Welcome to today's episode. This is the first episode of 2025 Youth Plus Radio, and I'm your host, Derek Were, and today we are so much excited to have Grace Gikonyo, who is a PR consultant, a business development, and much more. But you're going to hear much more from her. So we're going to give her the opportunity to introduce herself so that we can get to know much about her and what she does.
Thank you so much. My name is Grace Gikonyo. I'm the founder and managing director at Maynet PR Marketing Agency. I'm also a co-author of How We Rise and Thrive together with 12 other women who are thriving in their industries.
Wow. Why women?
You know, people think I'm a feminist. Someone told me that I need to, I don't know even if it's right to say that, but I need to lessen the balls,
Yeah.
So sometimes it's because I think I've been brought up by a single mom.
Yeah.
And for the 26 years that I was with her before she passed on, at least for the time that she raised us single-handedly before they parted ways with my dad, I saw how hard work can make you rise as a woman, and you can be able to penetrate spaces in men's world,
Yeah.
So it's possible. So whenever someone thinks that you can't be there, I always feel like what men can do, women can do. Not better, but they can also do. So you don't have to limit yourself.
Okay. So you're championing for at least women to get into this space so that they too can also do well in the same field.
Yes.
Wow. Please take us through your journey into PR and marketing.
Damn, it's a long one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have the time, but I studied, well, someone saw my potential when I was very young.
Yeah.
That was when I was 11 years. That was my teacher. And I was very good at voicing opinions at that age. And I was also very good at reading passages. You know how we were reading passages as children?
Yeah.
This one reads, this one continues. So whenever someone stammers or stutters, I could always be told to read for them. So that teacher spoke life into me and told me I should venture into journalism. The same was echoed even in high school. And my English teacher told me venture into PR because at that point PR was so foreign in Kenya. Foreigners were coming to Kenya to actually do it. But it sounded like customer relations. It didn't sound like something that I'd want. So when I went to campus, I went to do electronic media. And then later on, I realized electronic media is not what I wanted because there was the behind the scenes, the camera work, and I didn't like it. So that's when I realized when I do courses in PR, I excel in them because it's about creativity, it's about writing, it's about ideation, speaking in public. That's what I wanted. So that's how my journey started. The HOD at that point saw my potential, gave me a role as the PR manager at the school's radio station. And then I went into the career world. So in the career world, people were called PR executives, but they're doing marketing. So that's how I started, PR and marketing executive in a startup, which didn't know what exactly PR is. So I was basically doing bulk SMS, social media, and then thereafter, now I went into the PR agency, which really opened up what I know right now. I worked with several brands, and I introduced marketing into the agency because when I was in the startup, the problem was they didn't know what exactly I was doing. So I reached out to mentors who helped me in my journey. So by the time I was leaving, I knew a lot about PR and marketing and what needs to be done. When I went into the agency, they were struggling with marketing. There were clients who wanted ROI, but they didn't know what exactly that is. So that's when I started introducing the marketing bit. And thereafter, I was poached to an e-commerce or let's say classifieds in Kenya. And that's where now I did the most campaigns. I was so excited to delve into advertising, marketing, PR, and create a team from scratch. And afterwards, I was poached again to another company, which was an influencer marketing agency stroke social commerce. And that's where my passion in MSMEs grew. And I started my own.
Oh,
Yeah.
what is the secret? You're talking about being poached from one place to the other, and I've checked you've worked with quite big brands in the country. What is your secret?
I think being the best at what you do, having a niche, because in Kenya or even beyond, when you look at someone who's successful, we profile people who work in certain companies. You have to work in EABL, you have to work in Coca-Cola, you have to work in Safaricom. But if you niche it down, you get more reach because the right people will come to you and documenting whatever you do. So any little bit of achievement, I always document. And when people see that, they feel like you can bring the same to our company. So they reach out to you, and yeah, that's how my growth journey has been.
Being the best in what you're doing.
Yes, giving your
Interesting.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can give us a bit of, like, highlight some of the myths about PR and marketing that people have. I mean, most people know PR and marketing is all about attending big events, speaking, and that's all. So there are so many young people who are watching this podcast and they really want to understand much more about this, which you are doing. But what are the myths you've come across in your work?
Actually, one of the major ones, and that's why you find companies compress the two into one. PR and marketing is the same.
Yeah.
It's not. PR, okay, they work in tandem, but you can't say PR and marketing is the same. PR is about building credibility, helping your reputation as a brand to be out there, and it's long term. You can't say that now I have sent out a press release, that's it. Now we've had a stakeholder engagement, that's it. It's always, you have to do it consistently for people to trust your brand. Right now, I've come across Safaricom's billboard saying #1 employer in Kenya. When someone sees that, they'll say this is marketing. Others will say it's PR. People confuse the two. PR and marketing can work in interconnected.
Yeah.
But now you see that kind of thing has been initiated by a PR person, has been executed by a marketing person, but the goal is the same, to make sure that people trust Safaricom. Now, the other thing, PR is always considered that it's all about media. Every PR person, a professional who's working in the PR, if you ask them what exactly do you do, media will come in as the first thing. But apart from media, what are you doing? There's the digital aspect. Right now people trust brands because they see them more digitally, and they're not selling, they're talking about testimonials about whatever they're doing, what has worked. Like, even podcasting, what you're doing right now, helps people understand that Youth Plus Radio is credible. So it's also about making sure that you consistently send out the right message to the right audience. It's about also influencer collaborations. You don't have to use influencers to talk about my brand is this and this, oh, we've launched this and this. There is a team of micro influencers that have really come up, and people trust whenever they talk. I follow a channel, and that influencer talks about Oyster Bay. She talks about different kind of brands, and if you look at her conversation, you wouldn't know she's actually marketing. She'll tell you, today I'm going to this and this is happening. I've seen they're doing such an amazing thing. She'll never sell. She'll never tell you come. She'll always talk about it. And the more you consistently hear that, the more you want to go.
Yeah.
So influencer collaborations can be part of PR. It doesn't have to be just marketing. And marketing has also been termed as sales. Oh, they say sales and marketing is the same thing. It's not. Marketing helps bring leads, sales convert. And it's not about ad placements. It's more than ad placements. It's also about content.
Yeah.
You can create, that's why we say content marketing. You can create content that sells in itself. Yeah.
Interesting. You've talked about your personal branding, and I would really love you to talk about how important branding is, especially to young people who are in various professionals. And how do you brand yourself? By how we're interested to know which platforms do you consider as more important to brand yourself as a young person, so that you can be able to, put yourself out in the world for connections and be able to meet with other people within your space and even beyond.
I'd say personal branding is not even an option right now, it's a necessity. Because back then, nobody was interested in people per
Yeah.
se. It was about what can you be able to offer? What are the products that you can give me as a company or services? But right now, people and even investors invest into companies because of people. They invest into people because of stories. They People actually buy from you because of who you are. Like I have been in business, like registered for 4 months, but I was doing gigs for 2 years. People didn't know about me. They just saw what I'm showcasing. I tell them I did this project, this is what happened, these are the case studies, these were achievements. Someone calls me just because of me. And I didn't have a business. And these are big corporations, and they just want you to do whatever you have to do to make them so, because they've seen your story and they believe in you as a brand. Right now, when I started my business, people tell you it takes you 5 years or 1 year to be able to scale.
Yeah.
But when I started my business, people reached out to me because, not because I've started a business, but because they know Grace as a person. So I'd say personal branding is very important. Whether you're employed, whether you're starting out, it's very important because one, you'll be able to get the right mentors and you'll be able to see them. In among peers, someone will tell you, I like Patricia Thou. You don't know why I like Patricia. You'll say you also want to talk to her or for her to mentor you. Someone else will tell you another person. So you have to have experienced that. And it's through networking with them, seeing their content, seeing how you relate with each other. Like, is your journey the same as them? Because that's how I started. That's how I started, by understanding the kind of mentors I want and the journey I want to pursue. And then thereafter, now doing it on your own, like showcasing what they are doing the same way they are doing. And it also helps because LinkedIn is there. And LinkedIn, I always say it's like a digital handshake. You have to go to an event to meet these people, but on LinkedIn, you're exposed to them. It's very easy for you to DM them, for you to network with them, for you to grow your brand because of them. So, LinkedIn is one of the biggest ways to create your personal brand. And it's all about consistency. You post consistently, you engage with people, get into groups where your industry professionals are in, get into groups where you love that niche, because everyone now has to niche down into what exactly do you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say LinkedIn is the biggest. The second one I'd say is TikTok. TikTok is really coming up, and TikTok is not about numbers. It's not about followers like Instagram and Facebook, where it's your numbers that dictate who you're going to meet or the people who are going to see your content. So TikTok, if you're very good in terms of content, and that's where content marketing comes in, and you post on TikTok, very many people will be exposed to your
Yeah.
brand, and that's how you'll be able to grow.
Okay. Talking about growing, we'll wish to know about your low moments in business and even in establishing Gigi the brand, so that even those who are watching can be able to know it's not all about growing, and mean low moments are also part of growing. So, have you experienced low moments throughout your journey, and how has it been like, and how were you able to overcome such challenges?
A lot, a lot. I'd say I practiced PR and marketing actively for 9 years. And one of the things, because I've dealt with MSMEs mostly, one of the things I've come to learn is that MSMEs don't have budgets, and that's why even with my award, Top Digitally Fit PR Practitioner, it came because sometimes you don't have the budget to scale, but you can use digital means to be able to be seen. So sometimes maneuvering that bit of budgets, because marketing is also about budgets. You put money into something for it to be able to be seen. So one of the major challenges that I had to deal with in the early years of my life was minimal budgets. And I think it was a test because right now I'm working with MSMEs, and MSMEs have very low budgets,
Yeah.
and you have to work with that to be able to help them scale. I'd say it was maybe a blessing in disguise. The other challenge is also because of the budgets, you have to do the most to make the ROI come. So when dealing with finance people in any company, marketers and finance do not ever agree because marketers always try to, there's no template
Yeah.
in PR and marketing that will tell you do this and it will work. Different industries work differently and different strategies work differently. So for you as a marketer, you'll say this campaign will work and this is the estimated duration, and it doesn't, and money has been poured into it. So of course that ROI is not immediate and it affects some company operations. So of course getting you another budget can be a problem. So it's always, what I've come to learn is if you're doing a campaign, do it wholesomely. Do it on digital, do it on all channels that you're working with. If you're using digital, if it's digital, you have to use all your pages to make sure that you push the same narrative. If you're doing ATL and BTL as well, do the same. If it's Billboard, do the same campaign. If it's YouTube, do the same campaign. Like replicate everything so that even when the output comes, you're able to see the results. And before a campaign starts, you also have to do a lot of research because one thing as marketers, we're always very big on ideas, but you have to do a lot of research to know the why of this campaign before you actually execute it. And before you do execute it, you also have to do the analytics. How was it before? And how is it during? And how is it after? Now see the difference so that even when you present to the finance, the numbers in terms of the leads generated may not be immediate, but there's something tangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Talking of why, I'm also interested to know the kind of books you read, podcast.
Okay, I have quite a number. There's one called This is Marketing. So I've told you I studied PR.
Yeah.
So marketing has been about reading books. There's one that is called This is Marketing, and it debunks the myths about marketing. Marketing is not about selling. So it talks about audience engagement. It talks about persistence, consistency in how you're doing marketing. Not one way, but creating different ways of doing marketing. Yeah, so I'd say that one. I think it's by Seth Godwin.
Yeah.
Yeah. For podcasts, I listen a lot to Generation PR. I'd say she's my mentor, and she's also someone I look up to. She's based in the US. I listen to her YouTube videos. I listen to her Instagram snippets. And also for marketing, there's one called, I think it's by Neil Patel and someone else, Marketing School. If you want to venture into marketing or you've been doing marketing and you're not sure about it, I think that's the best marketing podcast you can ever listen to because they give concepts about SEO, what has worked, content marketing. It's so wide. So if you want to read about marketing, you don't even have to go for courses nowadays. Just YouTube and you've got it all.
You're good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about marketing, which one was your biggest breakthrough, perhaps in this space? Perhaps a campaign. Yeah.
I think it's when I was working at Gigi. I think Gigi opened me up to a lot of campaigns, and one that was my best one was um, so whenever we were trying to do any campaign, we could start off by doing research. And one of the research, sometimes we could do focus groups and invite people. So that's what we did. And most people say that they feel like Gigi, because Gigi is an e-commerce platform,
Yeah.
but people compared it a lot to Jumia. So we wanted to separate who we are in Jumia, because Jumia is a full e-commerce platform where buyers just come for products and they don't care who the sellers are. Gigi, buyers and sellers meet.
Yeah.
So we wanted to separate that, and we realized our age bracket of the people who are our audience, or the people we are targeting, are the youngings, 19 to 25 years. So we realize we need to get their attention. And for us to get their attention, we need controversy. And we realize most of them use Tinder. So we used the Tinder analogy to create it, and a lot of sexual innuendo on our YouTube to capture the audience. And of course, there was a lot of sentiments. Everyone was talking about the ads digitally. Even I think a newspaper captured it, the Star. So there was a lot of conversation about it. And after the campaign, we measured whatever happened. We realized the uptake of our people searched a lot about our company. There was a lot of traffic to our website. We were able to get so many sellers on board. We were able to have an influx of buyers to a point where we were named the most the most, I can't remember what it was, but the traffic had increased significantly to a point where we had overtaken Jumia. So I'd say it's always about controversy sometimes. Sometimes controversy sells, but there was a lot of work we had to do because of the negative sentiments. But did it work? It did. People were able to see that we are very different from other e-commerce platforms. Yeah.
Wow. Quite interesting. Controversy sometimes sells.
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at, what will you say is your biggest lesson in this space? I don't know whether it evolves with time, but what will you say is your biggest lesson that somebody else can learn as a young person, especially who is trying out to get into PR and marketing?
I'd say be authentic. There's a lot of noise around. When starting my business, I approached so many people who've run agencies, some even for 15 years, 5 years. And most of them, when I told them I want to venture into MSMEs, they were very skeptical, and they told me MSMEs don't have money. But my journey in PR and marketing has always been about MSMEs. So I really wanted to venture into that, and that became my niche. So if you're not authentic, if I wasn't authentic and took up what they're telling me and go by what they are doing, I could be every Tom, Dick, and Harry. But right now, because I established a niche, people have come to me because of that. MSMEs never have this kind of agency that directly caters to their needs. They fear agencies because of the amount of money they have to spend. So creating that, I think, is a breakthrough for MSMEs, and being an authority leader in my space for a very long time and showcasing that has helped me. So what I'd say is be authentic, and while you're authentic, speak about what you're doing. Small or big, it matters. Someone is always watching, and you never know where your journey will take you. Yeah.
Somebody's always watching.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this is a question I'd asked earlier. I want to combine it. One, I earlier saw your post that you're talking about being brave and leaving comfort zone. And perhaps you will highlight one particular event, or rather you transiting, how it was, and if there's any particular moment where you had to be brave and leave your comfort zone for you to venture into this. And the other question is, a young person will be like, perhaps it's because of your personality, you're outgoing, you love speaking, maybe that is the advantage that you had when you came to this field. Is it something to do with your personality? Yeah.
If I combine those two questions, I'd say everyone has a purpose that God instills in them, or whoever you term your God to be, your higher being. Everyone has a purpose in them. And whenever people ask me why now and why PR and marketing, I always tell them there's that thing that is embedded in everyone that you really, really love. That is your purpose. And you have to make it grow, or it will always be constant, like it will never grow. So I'd say for me, it's not about the personality. I'd say it's people who've made me be here. The personality helped, but there are people who talk a lot in accounting, and accounting is considered something that introverts do. There are people in PR and marketing that I know of who are very shy to speak. But when they stand in a crowd, you don't even know where their courage comes from. It's because it's embedded in them. It's not about personality, it's about what makes you fire, what makes you fired up, what makes you want to wake up in the morning and go do that, what makes you very different. Go do that. So I'd say for me, it's all about my purpose. My purpose has always been PR and marketing. My purpose has always been seeing brands grow from scratch. There are people who love a grown brand and they just elevate it in ways that they can. But for me, it's always about seeing a brand grow, and through my PR and marketing efforts. The other question you've asked is about bravery. I think it's time when it's time. Just like a mother carries a child, and the pregnancy, sometimes you have issues with the leg swelling, I don't know, cramps. I'm not a mom, so I don't know, but I've experienced my sister being in that state. But I've seen sometimes where mothers are like, they are done with this pregnancy, but it's not yet time. When it's time, they will know because the liquid will come out. There are signs that will make you go to the hospital and know it's time to deliver. So for me, I knew it was time, but I was so scared, just like a pregnant mother is scared to go into labor. I was very scared because I knew this is going to be tough. But opportunity always presents itself in hard work. And the sad thing is that many people don't ever want to do the hard work. They want the mediocrity because it's comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Being a youth podcast, I'm quite interested to know uh, again how it was for you as a young person, and secondly also as a woman, because of sometimes they're called gatekeepers. So I don't know how it was for you. Is it a matter of being brave regardless of who is speaking and who is leading you, or it seems like there is quite support for young people who desire to get into this space?
I'd say this, and I say this because my former business development manager once told me, be shamelessly bold. There's something about young people, and I'm very proud of Gen Zs. Gen Zs can walk into any room and they don't care who's there, they'll speak their minds. I love that. Millennials were not brought up like that. We were taught to be seen and not to be heard. And that stifles a lot of our potential. So what I'd say is the the worst that you can be told is a no. So ask from those people you admire if they can mentor you. Ask from those people you want to go into jobs. Keep asking. The worst that they can say is a no. And even if it's a no, it's not a no forever. It's going to be a yes one day. Let me give you an example. For a very long time, I admired Just Ivy. We met in one of your events, actually. And I was so scared to actually talk to her in my big age because influencers are presented like sort of personality which we cannot be able to approach. This same person is a person who moderated a conversation I was in. And after the conversation, she told me, I didn't go to her. She told me, can we do coffee? This is someone I feared to even talk to her at that point. That teaches you something. There is something in you that people see that you can't see, and you can't let it be hidden. In that same conversation or that same event that I was in, I wasn't the one who pitched. Someone pitched for me, like someone who saw something that I was doing on LinkedIn, was approached to speak, and he said, no, I think there's a better person who can speak, and that's Grace. Remember, I don't know this person, but I was told he did that, So that speaks into what you do, reaching out. It also speaks about asking. Sometimes as millennials, we're too shy to ask.
Yeah.
But I'd say Gen Zs are our role models. Even for me, I admire the courage that they have. But the most important thing is to be shamelessly bold.
To be shamelessly bold.
Yes.
Interesting. What is the future of PR and marketing, especially in a country like Kenya? Because, I mean, trends keep on changing and the approaches to things keep on shifting. So what do you think is the future of this space?
I'd say it's moving digitally. Before and even to date, like traditional PR is not the same. And it's more than just what has been termed as PR. We studied media relations in campus. We came to the world in PR agencies. That's what we were doing 3/4 of the time. But right now, it's all about use of micro influencer in collaborations, not in marketing, but in PR. It's also voicing everything on digital, showing campaigns digitally. People work from home. It's very hard for everyone to see a billboard. People no longer watch TV. They scroll on their socials. So what are you putting digitally that will help people embrace your brand? So PR is moving digitally and everyone has to embrace it. AI is also coming up. I think the next elections, I don't know how many years we have to go, but the next elections, I don't know how politicians will survive because of the voice AI that is coming up. And people, I think their PR will have a hard time, because if someone can be able to replicate your voice on AI and use it and people believe it's you, how will you be able to tell them that's not me? So there's a lot of technology that we have to embrace. We have to be open to learn about AI, voice AI, like whatever is happening in on AI. And the other bit is also embracing, in terms of AI, ChatGPT has really, really corrupted us.
Yeah.
And I challenge anyone in PR. Have you ever written a press release on ChatGPT? If you have, you'll see how bad it can be. So sometimes you read press releases and you can't see the value in it. So we have to really question, like, the why of any PR, of any press release that is issued out. And even when we are approaching the traditional media, most of them will just publish your news release on the newspaper and that's it, or on TV. But have you followed up to check, was it on digital? Because everyone is searching for the company. They're not looking for the newspaper that was covered 2 years ago. They're looking at, was it covered online? How great are they in terms of coverage? They'll not look at the newspaper coverage, they'll look at digital. So always insist, even when it comes to press coverage, let it be on digital. Let the tukos, let the those ones that are online, very big online, I equate them to the citizens that people think. Because even when you look at numbers, digitally, tuko leads, Citizen is at number 3. But in terms of our nation, you'll say Citizen is most watched, but who watches TV?
Interesting. Now, coming to the parting shot, for the interest of time, What is your parting shot? And I'm sure you can look at the camera and speak to those who are watching and following this. What is your parting shot to especially the young people who desire to get into this space? Of course, they've heard a lot about being bold, being brave, being consistent, being persistent. But what is your parting shot? And perhaps any other thing you need to mention that we have not had the opportunity to hear from you. This will be a good opportunity for them to listen and put on paper and start doing it.
I'd say be strategic. In terms of any campaign, any job that you want to get into, be very strategic. What's the why of getting here? What's the why of that campaign? Also, be very impactful. It's in whatever you do and the impact of the results that come out of it that makes you credible, that makes you visible out there and makes you be trusted. And the most important thing is being authentic, staying true to yourself. Everyone will push you to limits and do whatever everyone is doing, but be different. Get into spaces where no one has been. Don't be afraid to ask. And again, I repeat, be shamelessly bold.
What a way to end it. Be shamelessly bold. We are sincerely grateful for you coming, and thank you so much for starting us off in such a powerful way. There is so much to learn, I believe, from us here and even those who are watching. And we wish you nothing but the best in what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here as well.
Karibu.